Hey guys, GHAZZY TV here with another Diablo 4 build guide video for the Minion Necromancer. And these legendary powers is essentially the bread and butter of how this build works. I'm going to go through the basics of this build first so people will understand it. So basically, there's a lot of variations of this that you can do, and some are better than others. And in this case, we're running skirmishers with a crit. You could go Reapers with corpse, can be a bit more smoother. We'll test it out and see how it goes. But basically, you want to make sure your melee skeletons are doing actual damage. You can even go for extra skeleton, which might be better with a higher gear than we have right now. Skeletons for mages, we are using cold with SS generation, and this is in combination with our cold bringer to generate a shitload of essence, but also make sure that they apply chill. We can stagger bosses very effectively. The problem with minions is something I'll show you in the gameplay footage in a bit. Outside of that, the golem, make sure you're using a bone golem, because the ability for the bone golem is that it taunts enemies. And if you're playing solo, you need to do this. If you're not playing solo, then you can actually switch this for a corpse tendril instead and sacrifice it for either probably attack speed actually, or crit damage, but probably attack speed. But I would like to have the taunt. It just makes it much smoother. Outside of that, the skill tree that we are testing right now in this version is just get a 2 skill points in the basic. You're not even going to use it to get into the core. 1 point in here for the supernatural. This allows you to apply vulnerability on the first target, and the splintering allows you to put vulnerability on all targets. Make sure you have hued flesh, value point in blood mist, skeletal mastery, the corpse consumption from harvest, and fuel to play death. You have Death's Embrace, Death's Reach, Amplify for more damage, Decrepify for cooldown reduction into Enhanced Decrepify and Abhorrent Decrepify, so that whenever you hit enemies, you're able to trigger that chance to reduce cooldowns your abilities. This allows you to have Bone Storm up very effectively. You can also change your Bone Storm into the Corpse Tendrils for the same reason, because this gives you not just crit, but also increased damage reduction, which is why I'm prioritizing Bone Storm over Corpse Tendrils in this case. But like I said, in party play, you can skip the golem for the approach of using corpse tendril, but you have to change your Paragon board. Obviously, golem mastery and every single minion node you have. Kalen's edicts, very, very good. There's variations to this. I know Crazy Tickle from our Twitch chat was recommending with his version was running more of damage sources through Evulsion and specking for more damage from a bone spear, basically. It's a pretty cool way of doing it. I didn't like having that as the main source of damage, though. Paragon board is actually the same as we have in the previous iteration of the build guide. The only thing it changed was changing the glyph here into a control. In this version, I have a maxed out level of the Dead Racer and maxed out, I think. No, not maxed out control, but yeah, we have maxed out control actually. So that's pretty nice. And the Paragon board is pretty simple. Starting board into a cult leader, into hulking, into Scent of Death, and that's about it. I'm going to show you some gameplay footage, and as I talk about the problems with this, let's see if we have any reasonable one. So the biggest problem with the minions is, like I said before, it is the slowest build in literally the entire game, but it's also on the slowest character class in the game, which makes it the slowest of the slowest of the slowest, and it should feel really slow to play. It's fun, but it is very slow, and that is the biggest problem this build has. That's really all there is, but when it comes to speed in that sense, the other problem obviously comes down to the quality of life issues. So a problem you'll notice in the runs that we have is that minions will spread out. You can't really make them focus target anything specifically. So if there is a target that you really should or want to kill, you can't do that, because they will just have their own life and do whatever they want. Jesus, the lag. Then if you made a suppressor, which means you can't do damage to the target unless you're within range of it or within radius, you can't make your minions reliably or effectively move inside of that circle to be able to do damage to the target. So that's just two of a lot of problems with this. Based off the content that you're engaging with, the damage can feel a bit lackluster, despite the level of gear that we have equipped right now. Obviously, there's a lot of things we can do better. But before I do the dungeon, I do want to explain the mechanics, because it's a little bit advanced. So we're going for a lot of a lucky hit. We will have one modifier on our gear that gives us scaling for lucky hit, which in our case is put on our ring, which gives us increased lucky hit chance. So the idea is for us to do lucky hits to generate corpses through hued flesh from our skill tree. And we also get lucky hits from generating generating heals, and if we heal at max HP, we will then get a barrier, which is absolutely insanely effective, and then we will also be triggering the Mendel. Now, Mendel will allow us that when we hit a lucky hit, there's a chance for all our minions to overpower or do some explosion with their damage when the next attack. So there's a lot about lucky hits here, and we will be getting a lot of essence for these guys, and a lot of essence from consuming corpses through resummoning our skeletons, and then dump it all out on bone spears. So this is basically how this build is played, and I'm going to show you how it looks. Let's see. This is now in single player tier 41 Nightmare Dungeon. A little half-assed, but it'll still be kind of clear of how it works. And what's really nice with the golem is like I mentioned before, is the fact that you can taunt it. So, just the fear, get a taunt out, and I'm dead. Can't stress it. Actually, it's good that I died. So now I can show you the problem with getting back into a fight. Emotional Without Army of Dead, you're unable to resummon your minions very effectively. Let's not go in there. Let's do this way. Alright. We pop Bone Storm, watch the fears. And then you basically do this. You get a taunt off, which I didn't get in time. Stay away from the rock, because it's gonna AoE damage. Also, your minions get hit by fear, by the way. Kind of important to point out. They do get hit by fear, for example, which will drastically lower your damage output. And that can be a bit annoying. So as you can see, the damage is okay. Clearing so-so. You're still at a risk of dying if you're not being too careful like I was there. Those ballistas needs to die quickly, or that's going to be troublesome to deal with. Bone Storm will be ready. Now I have my taunt again. And you see here, a lot of the damage is just coming from my Bone Spear, which is just there to apply vulnerability in the end. AoE damage hasn't really been a problem for the minions to deal with. So that's been kind of chill, to be honest. Survivability has been great for them, actually. That's something I was a bit concerned with originally, but that turned into less of a problem later, to be fair. Here's a suppressor. Let's see how this feels. Oh, he actually walked straight into my minions, so this is good. Now I can actually do damage to him. Amazing. Explode, thank you. So if he didn't move up there, what would then happen is that my minions wouldn't be able to do damage to him, or they would just try to shoot into it and not be able to do anything, which is kind of frustrating. And I'm not a big fan of that. But as you can see, I mean, the build is functional. It does exactly what it's advertised to do, which is respectable damage and getting you the minion play style, if you will. But outside of that, it's not something that I would deem to be in the top tier of Necromancer builds. Thank you so much for the gift of subs, guys. Appreciate it. Let's see if I can show you some more. This, go into this side of the dungeon. I'll show you the boss as well. Get the taunt out, get Bone Storm from damage reduction, pop the immunity if you have to. Keep smacking, and this is the clearing, right? Don't get frozen, and I have cooldown on everything right now. Minions are still staying alive, no problems. Keep yourself topped off. Do the taunt if you have to. Can you pop that, please? Thank you, so I can open this. Thank you. So as you can see, it's not terrible, but it's nowhere near great either. You could switch the Bone Storm for Corpse Tendril and use Grasping Veins if you can fit that on the aspect of the powers instead, which is a good addition, but also allows you to group enemies up, which makes it much easier for you to do a little bit better clearing. And the Decrepify is there to lower the cooldown of everything and lower the enemy's damage output as well as their speed. So there's a lot of pros and cons to this. In a party, you would basically be a vulnerability bot applying Vul. There's another suppressor. Let's see if we can get our minions inside here. They are inside, at least most of them. You see the skeletons here on the side? They are unable to do damage because they keep shooting into the shield, and I can't move them in an effective way. I can't do damage to this guy. He's chasing me. I have to try to kite him back into my skeletons. That's the only way I can make them do damage. And during this time frame, I am literally... You can see how bad this is in this case. I'm unable to do much because I'm forced to use potions to survive, and now I'm completely out of HP potions. Now we got it. Completely out of HP potions. Because I had to kite the guy into my skeletons. It's just annoying with these quality of life features. I think that the solutions to it are very simple. Like the mobility issue with Necromancers could be solved by having the blood mist function as a tiny teleport. That would be helping. They could make it so you could put another point in and change one of the nodes or something in the backside of blood mist to let you teleport your minions to you when you use it, so you can use it offensively versus suppressors, something like that. I think that would be a fair trade-off for the risk you put yourself in by teleporting into an enemy. I don't know. I just feel like stuff like that would actually solve a lot of the issues that Necromancer are having right now, at least with minions. Not talking about the balance in terms of damage output, because the damage output is kind of lackluster compared to most other builds that you can do, including, you know, blood and whatnot, which is not too popular right now for obvious reasons. Other than that, I mean, as you can see, we're able to clear, you know, tier 40 nightmare dungeons. So it's not terrible, but gets the job done. But not the best either. Straightforward. I mean, as you can see, the gameplay is very simple. There's that title. Nothing. All right, where's my? There's. And we do this, and we're ready. That's it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. There's gonna be a written guide in the link in the description below. Make sure you hit the like video, hit the like button for the video, comment down below what you think of it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Till then, stay safe, keep rocking.